Welcome to That's Good Sports Week 6 Power Rankings. Yes, this is the most honest Power Rankings on YouTube. It's also the most cursed. I spin this little wheel at the end of every episode to see which NFL team it curses. So far, it's 2-3 on the season, which for the first time in my life is making me think the devil's not real, that curses aren't real, and that this thing called life, it's just a random coincidence. Oh well, let's rank the top 10 teams in the NFL this week and place a few in the fictional spots of heaven, hell, and purgatory on That's Good Sports. Hey, we're knee-deep into football season, and based on the amount of videos I post, you know I'm busy, which is why I love Good Chop, who is sponsoring today's episode. They deliver the highest quality meats right to my door in fully customizable boxes. I just baked some salmon, which is all wild-caught and obviously important for my brain health with those omega-3 fatty acids. My brain loves fatty acids. And I love salmon, but not everyone is a fish connoisseur. I get that. Don't worry, Good Chop offers you all of the meats which you choose for your box. Their beef is either grass-fed or USDA Choice or Prime. The chicken is free-range and organic. The seafood isn't just wild-caught, it's sustainably sourced, and none of the meat has antibiotics or added hormones. There's over 60 high-quality meats to choose from, and every piece of meat I've received has been in perfect condition. And now you can get these cute little key lime pies. They're adorable. Look, they offer a 100% money-back guarantee. You're not gonna need it. So just go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use my code That'sGood120 or click the link in the caption below and get $120 off your first 4 boxes today at Good Chop. May we begin in heaven? Ooh, Justin Fields. I'm putting his deep ball here in heaven. Look, Fields has been throwing the ball very well. Chicago should have 2 wins under their trousers. All their running backs are hurt, so heaven is appropriate for your healing, Chicago. But holy crap, I thought I was dead and in heaven when PFF posted these stats about Justin Fields throwing the ball over 20 yards. 6 touchdowns, 0 picks, 13 completions, and his passing grade would be higher. But remember, one of those throws was a risk-free Hail Mary at the end of the second quarter in the Broncos game. Ooh, yeah, it's heating up in here, which means we're in hell.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
The Packers for losing to the Raiders in prime time. What are you, the Broncos? Former employer of Nathaniel Hackett, losing record, major questions about your quarterback, all the blame going to your defensive coordinator. Okay, yeah, maybe you are the Broncos, Green Bay. In hell's waiting room, purgatory, I've got the Cowboys. The Niners dropped 42 on what was supposed to be an amazing top 5 defense. That was more points than you allowed through the first 4 games of the season at 41 combined. I can live with Dak and your offense messing up, but the no-show by your defense makes me think you'd lose to the Giants right now. Also in purgatory, the Aaron Rodgers versus Travis Kelce vaccine debate. I don't want to see it, but I also really want to see that shit. Number 11 this week? Well, it's actually not for teams knocking on the door to the top 10, but for teams I just can't figure out. The Saints and the Bengals. I can't figure either of you guys out. Are you good? Do your calves hurt? Are you terrible? You're shutting out the Patriots. You're throwing for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns to Jamar Chase. I don't know. I don't know. You guys confuse me, and I'm not going to talk about you anymore. Reminder, week 5 had the first group of bye weeks. And as is tradition here, the Chargers, Browns, Seahawks, and Buccaneers will not be considered for the power rankings today since they're at home watching Red Zone, and using their fleshlights. And also, the curse wheel cursed the Chargers last week, and they were on a bye, so maybe the curse wheel didn't want to curse the Chiefs, but actually just wanted to curse the Chargers. Something to keep your eye on, okay? Hard to say how this works since I made it up and there are no rules. Coming in at 10, I've got the Jaguars and the Colts. You've got the same record and you play each other this week, so we're gonna get clarity one way or the other. Gardner Minshew,
masculinity,
will be the Colts starting QB for the foreseeable future. This was him after a big win against the Colts back when he was the Jags QB.
That's just a glimpse. That we ain't even scratching the surface yet. Do not be satisfied with 1-0.
And this was him after a big win against the Titans as he gets ready to play the Jags.
Let's go! Hey, you fight to the end and you find a way. Hey, gang on 3. 1, 2, 3. Gang!
Gang on 3! Gang on 3! Let's all join a gang and commit gang violence. I love gangs and I love gang wars and I love Gardner Minshew. Masculinity. Number 9, the Falcons. Oh right, I didn't talk about the Jags, did I? 5th best rushing defense in the NFL. You just beat the Colts, Jacksonville, or I'm going to make you watch this video again. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't play well, Travis Etienne should give him the middle finger for ruining his chances to get a real contract one day. The same way Etienne gave himself the middle finger in fantasy this week. Number 9, the Falcons, who have been on and off this list like every week. Atlanta finally got a strong game from Desmond Ridder, and they were able to withstand a C.J. Stroud comeback to push them to 3-2. Cornerback D. Alford has taken his game to the next level in his second year, putting up a 90.7 PFF rating in the win versus Houston. The Falcons have a really favorable schedule the rest of the way, and I think it'll come down to their 4 games against the Bucs and Saints to see who captures the vaunted NFC South. What do all of the NFC South teams have in common, except for the Panthers, of course? Well, right now, they all have top 10 defenses in points allowed. That's kind of crazy. One thing I'd like to see Atlanta get back into is the top 5 for rushing yards per game. Bijan doesn't have a rushing TD yet this season, and last year at this time, Atlanta had 823 rushing yards. Currently, they're sitting at 608, which is less than the Chiefs, actually. Number 8, I've got the Ravens. The Ravens really found a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory against Pittsburgh. Whether it was dropping those 7 passes, throwing a pick in the end zone, or using press coverage on George Pickens with no safety help over the top. Something that's concerning, however, is that Lamar Jackson has more fourth quarter turnovers in one-score games than any other quarterback over the last 3 seasons, beating out Taylor Heineke and Justin Herbert for that crown. Number 7, the Steelers. You beat the Ravens, and I had them at 4 last week. All right? This was maybe the ugliest win of the year, except for your win over the Browns. That was as ugly. The only way the Steelers will win this season is through ugliness. Out of all the 8 division leaders, the Steelers have by far the worst point differential at -31. In bizarre fashion for Pittsburgh, they have yet to score a touchdown on the ground this year, but they have a couple of timely defensive scores to make up for the fact that their offense has only gotten in the end zone 5 times through 5 games. All via the tiny hands of Kenneth Pickett. 2 of their rookies have balled out so far, left tackle Broderick Jones and cornerback Joey Porter Jr., who had the highest grading as a corner this week. Plus, they figured out a workaround to the Matt Canada problem. Just have Kenny Pickett audible out of every play he calls. He did it to win the game on that deep ball to George Pickens, and he better do it for the rest of the season for every play. It's almost a cheat code when you think about it. Canada will call the worst play possible, so you just run the exact opposite play, which will be the best one possible. Number 6, I got the Bills. You might be able to chalk up the Bills' loss to Jacksonville on jet lag, but that doesn't change the fact that the Dolphins leapfrogged them to the top of the AFC East just a couple hours later. Don't worry though, help is on the way because the Bills just signed 35-year-old corner Josh Norman to make up for the loss of Tre'Davious what? Buffalo also lost Matt Milano on defense. Daquan Jones injured his pec, and Von Miller only played 20 snaps in London before exiting the game. There's also concern about the health of Christian Benford, Greg Rousseau, and both tight ends Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Wait, why the f did I put the Bills at 6? Too late now. Hang on, Buffalo. Number 5, the Chiefs. 2 weeks in a row. The refs bailed you out, Kansas City, so politely, go fuck yourselves. You are billionaires not paying taxes right now, Kansas City. Everyone talks about the Chiefs' offense, but the Chiefs are the only team that has yet to allow more than 21 points in a game this season. Look, Chiefs fans, it's 100% acceptable to admit that Patrick Mahomes isn't playing up to the Mahomes standard. It's okay to admit your defense is keeping you in games right now. My Broncos defense, they're giving the team no chance to win. And these stats between Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes should make you feel proud you have a great defense right now. And you're about to play the Broncos defense. If you're really smart, Kansas City, though, you will lose to the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Your 15-game win streak would come to an end, but after beating the Vikings, the smartest 4D chess you could play would be allowing Denver to win to screw them out of Caleb Williams. The Broncos currently have the 3rd pick. Think about it, you stupid idiot dumb turd fossils, think about it. Number 4, the Dolphins. The 4-1 Miami Dolphins are leading the league in scoring 36 points per game, and they've surpassed 500 yards of offense 3 times in the first 5 games of the season. Tua is on pace to break the all-time passing yards mark in a season. Funny, even with an extra game, Tua's only on pace to beat Peyton Manning's record by 11 yards. Their next 4 games are an absolute roller coaster. You got winless Carolina, the undefeated Eagles, the 1-4 Pats, and a trip to Arrowhead to face the Chiefs. If they can get out of there, say 3-1, that's a sign to me the Dolphins are in the top tier teams. I almost put you at number 1, Miami. Just for this, Dan Marino being incredibly annoyed by signing autographs.
I ain't doing all these, man. Danny, you do yours. I'll do the little kid, that's it. Here you go. No, I ain't doing it. Thanks.
Honestly, Dan Marino getting pissed off is my favorite pastime.
Did not flub at all.
No, it wasn't a flub.
There was no fucking flub. Fuck it, send it in.
You want to see playback on it?
Nope. I don't want to see shit.
Number 3, the Lions. The Lions' offense was humming against Carolina even without the likes of Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams only had 2 catches for 2 yards. I doubt it will ever happen because it's the Lions, but if we can get healthy, a healthy group of Montgomery Burns, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson, Laporta, and Josh Reynolds all on the field at the same time, there will be no single human out there that can deny the existence of the power of the Goffense. Now, a guy who's really stepped up is Josh Reynolds. 3 TDs this season, 16 receptions on the year. He actually leads the team in yards per reception, and it just feels like he's a key guy who is there for Goff when shit gets dicey. They're a strong 4-1, and I don't see them faltering. They're typically a team that gets stronger and better as the season goes on, and they've got the 2nd easiest remaining schedule for the rest of the regular season with 4 games against the Bears and Vikings, and a home game against the Broncos. Number 2, the Eagles. The Eagles are 1 of 2 remaining undefeated teams in the league, and it still feels like they haven't hit their stride under new offensive coordinator Brian Johnson, averaging a mere just 28 points per game. Yuck. Bizarrely, the Eagles have actually allowed 1 more touchdown than they've scored this season, but they've made up for it thanks to Jake Elliott nailing 16 of 17 field goal attempts, the most in the NFL so far, and they're not just chip shots either. He's made 4 of 5 from 50 yards or more, including a 61-yarder. I know it's not sexy to talk about kickers, but for me, it's a testament to how the Eagles as a team just get it done every week. A lot was said this offseason about the NFC Championship game between Philly and San Francisco. Enough where the Niners and Eagles became a real rivalry. There was hatred there. That said, one of the most upvoted posts in the Eagles subreddit? Yeah, George Kittle wearing that Fuck the Cowboy shirt. And coming in at number 1 this week, 1.5 this week, the Philly fan who snuck into the Eagles locker room. The fan said he did it so he could interview A.J. Brown. But we all know he just wanted to see his favorite players naked. Wanted to get a good long glance at their man penises. didn't you? And number one, congratulations, San Francisco. You are the first team to hold the number one spot this year for more than a week. The 49ers' average margin of victory this season is 20 points. You've scored 30 or more points in 8 straight games, which is the 5th longest in NFL history, which is also a lie because nobody's counting the playoffs when you scored 19 and 7 points. But the point is, the 49ers are a damn good football team. Wait a second. You can't have it both ways, ESPN stats and info. The Niners have scored 30 or more in 8 straight games if you don't count the playoffs, but Christian McCaffrey has 14 straight games with a touchdown if you do count the playoffs? What are we doing here? I'm not trying to take anything away from San Francisco. I think they're hands down the best team in the league, but these stats are getting out of control. Speaking of out of control, let's see what happens with the curse wheel. 1, 2, 3, fuck somebody who deserves it. Don't pick the Niners, you cannot curse them. I should join Broadway with this voice, yeah. Should we do it as a musical? Oh, 10, fudge. It's the Colts and the Jets. They're playing each other. That doesn't make sense. I'm done with you. You and I, you're gonna find yourself in the trash can, just like a lot of my Broncos clothes. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube for your weekly power rankings, recaps, and come back Thursday night. I will be live streaming the Broncos-Chiefs game. It'll be fun. No, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt real bad.